for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. Hopefully we will be able to find a winner or two for Saturday night's program. We go harness racing at Albion Park. 8 races, action getting underway at 5:35. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to catch up with Nathan Dawson, Hayden Barnes and Paul Divett, get their thoughts on their drives at this meeting. Hayden Barnes is joining us. There's 3 good drives for Hayden on Saturday night, and we start with race 3, number 3, Dapper. He finally comes up with a good draw, and this is important because he's going well enough to break through.
Yeah, he's going really good at the moment. His last few have been really good and gets that good draw, and we'll be able to press forward, and hopefully if he finds a front, he'll take some catching.
Okay, so the obvious one is you are going to be aggressive early from the draw.
Yeah, we'll press forward, and if we do get the front, then he'll be very hard to beat, I reckon.
Okay, last time out third, very brave, and the time was good.
It was. We did our fair share of work early, and I thought I might have been 1-1 on the other one, then it worked to the front, so he sat parked out the whole trip, and he was still right there in the finish.
You've got a bit of speed drawn to your inside, and there's Celtic Cruiser on your outside, but he should be in a pretty good spot throughout, so that's going to play to his advantage.
Yeah, it will. So as you said, we'll keep pressing forward, and hopefully we can get the front. If not, we'll settle 1-1 or in the chair if nothing keeps going.
All right. Since they've taken the hobbles of this horse, he's flying.
Yeah, he's different horse. I've only driven him as a free-leg pacer. I never drove him with the hobbles on, but it's worked wonders for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll skip across to race number 5, Lexus on the Beach. He had to do a lot of work last week. Front row draw on Saturday night. Again, you've got to be fairly aggressive here, no doubt, at the start.
Yeah, he does. He just had to do a little bit, probably too much work to get to the chair last start, and his runs before that were really well himself, so we'll keep pressing forward, and he'll probably be outside of him doing what he does best every week.
The mile, is that more to his liking, coming back in trip, or do you prefer him at the middle distance range?
Probably more than 2100, I reckon, just because he can get up outside of him and grind him into the ground, where mile they're still running flat out the whole way, so I don't think it really bothers him that much, but 2100 is probably a bit better.
Okay. Race 6, the Trot, maybe to the max. Was it just a case last week he just needed that run badly?
Yeah, he just needed that run. If it had that one under his belt, I probably would have gone around, sat outside of him, but being first up, that's all. That showed in the run, really, that he just needed that run, and he'll be much better this week. Was there any particular reason why he skipped the recent DJA series? I'm not too sure. I know Ronnie likes to keep me driving him, and when I had my horse in there, we sort of thought that's maybe why he kept him away, but yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. All
right, well, there's 3 good drives. What's the pick of them?
I'll go with Dapper early on in the night.
Okay, race 3, number 3, Dapper. Appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Yep, thank you.
Nathan Dawson has some great chances on Saturday night. I'm going to start by talking about Celtic Cruiser. He lines up in race 3. Nathan's with me now. Nathan, he was super last week. He was savaged in that first quarter, but he had plenty of fight left in him. He kept going all the way to the line, running a very brave third.
Yeah, that's right. His last start was super. We had the draw last start. Draw's not on our side this week, but with his run last week, you'd think he'd be in with a good shot.
I've got to ask the question, is he better at the shorter trips or this middle distance range? It's 2,138 metres on Saturday night. What do you prefer with Celtic Cruiser?
I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Probably can't do as much work over the longer trip, but it doesn't worry him that much. Okay.
Now, gate 4, you've got Dapper, Waikika Phil Schuyler on your inside. You're probably going to have to do it tough again this week.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have to go forward. We won't be able to get to the front, I wouldn't think, this week. But sitting outside of him won't worry him too much. He's a tough horse, so do our best.
Dapper's in good form. Corey William off the second row. Do they loom as the main threats?
Yeah, I think so. I got plenty of time for Waikika Phil too. I think he's a nice horse. Having the drawer inside us will help him, so I think those 3 are probably the best ones in the race.
All right, we'll skip across to race 6. This is the Trot. Any old way. He comes out of the recent Darryl Alexander Memorial Trotting Series, and he performed really well given what he's gone through.
Yeah, that's right. You can't knock his performances. They were good. His last start in the final might have been a little bit disappointing, but it was still a good effort. He tried hard, so a race like this, you think he'd be in with a good chance.
He starts off the front with a good beginning. He's going to be a real threat.
Yeah, that's right. If he can get away a little bit quicker than last week, it'd be good. So if he steps and finds himself pretty handy, I think he'd be in with a really nice shot.
All right. Oyster Stride in race number 7. He draws the inside of the second row, but he is following out the informed Tullo Santana. You need a little bit of luck, but if he gets it, he's more than capable.
Yeah, that's right. He's a hard horse to follow, but hopefully with that run, he should be thereabouts. drove him 2 starts ago and he come third. He was very unlucky. So if he brings that performance again, I think he should be in the finish.
Just looking at this front row, it is loaded with speed. Tullow, Santana, Zarvan, Abanos, Senora, Rapido, Maywin's Best, Whedon's Express, Comply or Die. They can all run the gate.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully they go hard and we can just get the nice sit on them and hurl out top of the straight and get the chockies.
Okay, of that trio, what looks the most likely at this early stage?
From the draw and the way the race plans out, I think Oyster Stride if he can bring his best.
All right, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thank you.
Paul Dybert now joins us. He's got 3 drives on Saturday night that we're going to focus on in this segment. We're going to start with Tullohurst Ace in race number 4. Paul, this is the first time you've sat behind this guy, so what are the expectations leading into the weekend?
Well, I don't really know. Where he's drawn, where's he drawn again?
3.
3. He hasn't been driven very aggressive this time in, and I think a couple of times early on he drove aggressive and he hasn't been running home late. But when he first got him last time this time round, he was flying and going real well. So the last couple of runs he's been driven real quiet and hasn't really had much luck. So I don't know what the trainer will be thinking at the start. He does have speed and he was running some real good times when he had him early on last season. So I don't know what to expect.
Okay, we'll watch there with Tullohurst Ace. That's race 4. The trot, race 6. Really competitive trot race here. You're on last week's winner, 4 shares more beers. You know this guy. And the win last week, I'm tipping, didn't surprise many within the stable because his efforts prior were really good.
Yeah, no, he drew front line and I thought once he found the front he'd be definitely hard to beat, especially when he got left alone and the 2 that were main keys were out the back and didn't really expect them to go around and put any pace in the race. So, no, it was always going to be hard once he found the front.
Is he a difficult horse to drive?
No, he's like one of the easiest trotters I've ever sat behind. Grant was actually surprised when I drove him first time in this season that I galloped him away and he told me, you got to watch the replays because he's one of the easiest horses to step. So, no, ever since I drove him that start, he's never missed for me and he's one of the quietest and easiest horses to drive. But he does pull a little bit. But apart from that, he's easy to drive.
Okay, last week we saw him in front. He starts off 10 metres on Saturday night. How do you see it playing out early?
I just got to step away and try and get into a handy spot because there are a couple of better horses in the race this week with Empire Bay and Our Over and Over back in this week, and maybe the Max will be better after its first up run after missing the series.
Okay, well that's a good trot race, no doubt about it. Race 6. Race 7, Tullohurst Santana. This is a good drive. He lands the inside draw. He's fit, he's in form, but this is the first time you've sat behind him. So, again, what are the expectations?
No, I took notice of him. I've watched a few of his replays, and I don't reckon I'll get crossed. Zavo and Ben has drawn beside me, so we'll just have to see what the trainer wants to do there. But he's like Santana Blue Chip. They lack high speed. They're more better off rolling along. So he went 54 last start over the mile. So it's still over the mile again this week.
Yeah. In saying that, though, there's a lot of pace off this front row. So you're going to be running hard all the way.
Yeah, I'm tipping we'll be running hard. Yeah, definitely the first quarter is going to decide what's going to happen in the race anyway.
Okay. Well, of that trio, which one are you looking forward to most?
Well, probably Tullohurst Santana.
Okay.
I reckon he's been going good and he's only gotten better with every run that Christina Mondes gave him.
All right. Well, appreciate the time. We'll see you tracks on Saturday night.
Definitely.
In what shapes as a very open program, I think, this weekend. I think the Bears comes up early. Race 2, number 3, Mac Talk. This mare's been crying out for a good barrier draw. She finally lands it this weekend. Lockie Manzelman takes the drive. I think he'll be aggressive. He'll probably make a play for the lead if she finds it. I think she's going to prove very hard to beat. I think she's well worth a gamble each way. Race 2, number 3, Mac Talk. Repeating 8 races with the first getting underway at 5:35. Best of luck this weekend.